Hey guys, what's going on? Roundedtiktak here, and I got an interesting video for you today. It has been requested 567,000 times that I make this video. That's not true, but I have gotten a couple of requests, and I thought it was a pretty interesting topic. So I want to cover it. This isn't going to be a full mathematical breakdown of exactly what is the best, because a lot of this information is unquantifiable. I don't know if that's the right word, but it sounds good, right? So we're going to take a look at Blast from the Past, Dim Mak, and Bioenergy Source. All three arguably are some of the better perks in the entire game, period. And I personally feel that all three should be used in a different kind of playstyle. A lot of people don't have everything in the game, and that's completely fine, so you can't really say anything is the best. We've covered all of these builds you're going to see in this video. I've done rough mock-ups of each build that I'm going to be showing you guys and discussing. Nothing here is set in stone. If you don't like the build, that's fine. It's just to give you an idea of what you might want to run with this hero, when you might want to run this, and why. Let's take a look at the 3 team perks you definitely want to check out and make sure you have: Blast from the Past, Dim Mak, and Bioenergy Source. First up, let's take a look at Dim Mak. For each ninja, you gain 2.7% shield. Let's just round that up to 3, 5, 10, 15. 15% shield every second is pretty nuts. So you have to be in shadow stance, which gives you armor and movement speed, which is pretty cool. So this ends up being a pretty tanky build. Now, with this kind of build, you can actually get the most damaging perks here: Legendary Blade, Anatomy Lessons, Assassination, Saurian Claw. We're using Corrosive Strikes. Arguably the most DPS you can get out of a ninja is this hero right here. And then we have one utility perk here, which is Rapid Charge, just to get our energy up. Another thing to keep in mind is playing this character, along with one other that we're going to be talking about, has better abilities. A Dragon Slash is a big key component on ninjas, and playing a hero with one is a big bonus. But you have all of these damaging perks, but the issue is once you go into a higher level mission, and I'm talking higher level as in like 160 and above, 140 even sometimes, but definitely like 160 and above. You have a build like this, you can see how little health I actually have: 226,000, 116,000 shield. If you're in a higher level mission, each enemy is going to be hitting you from anywhere between 20 for the little guys and close to 100,000 for the bigger guys. What that ends up meaning is 2 or 3 shots and you're dead. You are dead to rights. Yes, you have a double jump to get away, a stun on your kick. There are a couple of things that you can do to get away, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're always going to. This is a ton of extra damage. If we take a look here, we got 87 plus 25 plus 15% crit rating plus another 22 plus 5.5 of current health. That's a lot of extra damage to load up into it. There's another build that you can do using this hero and a triple crit damage sword. That's something you could try. The build has a ton of utility. It's not locked to anything in particular. If you don't want to use a sword, you don't have to use a sword. You're going to be doing a ridiculous amount of damage with this build. You're going to have the slow and snare. But the thing is that in my opinion, it's not 100% worth it all the time. If I'm going into a harder end mission, I'm not bringing Dim Mak. There's better builds. In my opinion, there's better builds. Although this build is not terrible and it does do a lot of damage and you're playing a decent hero, it still isn't the cream of the crop. If I'm doing a harder mission, I'm not bringing Dim Mak. So let's take a look at another build or another perk, or let's take a look at Bioenergy Source and see how that stacks up to the other two. Now, this is very similar to my God mode ninja build. That video did very well. A lot of people know the build. It relies on a specific weapon and playstyle, and that's it. The weapon is the Spectral Blade with the quick, heavy attack that dashes you forward in a cleave, hitting all targets around you. We need to incorporate that into the build the best we can. Bioenergy source, for each hero with 3 or more stars, we get 0.25% energy loss. So that's times 5 once again. A decent amount of energy gain or shield per energy loss. We combine that with Fuel for the Fallen and Rapid Charge, so we can keep our energy up all the time. Therefore, we can continue to spam our Spectral Heavy Attack, which continuously regenerates our shield. It's like everything snowballs off of each other. We're using Fate here, who does not have Dragon Slash, so that is a detriment to her. Increases Sword Heavy Attack efficiency by 200%. What ends up happening is you can basically heavy attack all day, never lose shield, or at least not to the point where you're going to die, and do a lot of damage because you're bringing Assassination, Legendary Blade, Corrosive Strikes. You have Survivalist for the heals. The Spectral Blade hits hard enough that it's going to one-shot all of the little things anyway. 120,000 per swing. It's a good build. However, you are locked to that weapon. I would never bring this build if I didn't plan or didn't have the Spectral Blade. Having the Spectral Blade and a build like this is a big deal compared to having the Masamune with a very slow heavy attack that you cannot spam to keep your shield up. Since all of your abilities have decent cooldowns, you're not going to be able to keep your shield up that way. So you would run this build in a particular mission where you're just trying to kill things very, very quickly. You're gonna have less damage than the Dim Mak build, but you're gonna have more mobility because you're only using the Spectral Blade. You have infinite energy for the most part. You have a little bit of healing, and you have some damage perks. It's again a decent build for anything 140 or below, but again, we have very little health we're working with, and anything above 140, you're gonna get 3 shots. So you have to be careful when you do this. If you're not spamming that heavy attack to continually refresh your shield, you're gonna run into problems. And now the last one we have here is Blast from the Past. Blast from the Past, in my opinion, is the best perk out of all 3. Let's take a look at why. Blast from the Past gets rid of your shield, increases your max health. We know that in a max party, we're looking on this ninja for at about 1 million health. If you plan on using Saurian Claws, 16.5% of max health at 1 million is 165,000 damage, coupled on top of Assassination, which is another 22%, and then whatever else is on your weapon. We know that we can also stack attack speed into this build and constantly hit for that 165,000 plus the base damage of your weapon. But that's not even what the build's about, because you will be getting a little more utility and damage from the Dim Mak build because you just have so many damaging perks that they end up adding up very, very quickly. Specifically, if you have a weapon rolled for the build itself. But here we have to bring Saurian Hide and Saurian Focus, which allows for a decent amount of tankiness and energy regeneration, which is fantastic. Survivalist to keep our health at the max it can for the damage from Saurian Claws, and then Going Coconuts. And then Assassination we just have for a little bit of bonus damage, but again, none of these builds are set in stone, just giving you an idea of what you can run. In my opinion, I think I said it already, this is the best perk out of the 3, especially for harder missions. Anything above 160 and you want to play a ninja, this is the way to go. Instead of only having 300,000 health, you are looking at 1 million, 1.1 million probably if you were in a max party. If every enemy hits for 100k, that's 11 hits instead of 3 that can kill you. You still have all the mobility of the other ninjas, and you're doing a decent amount of damage, at least enough damage to where you feel impactful. Smashers have never been a problem. Regular enemies have never been a problem. And on top of that, you don't have to stick to any one weapon set using this hero. You can use a Stabsworth, you can use a Masamune. I've been really liking the Lance a lot. You can even use the Spectral Blade. You can use all these weapons and more and never die. You can face tank mini bosses and never die. You can kite mini bosses and be completely fine. 1,000,000 health in this game is no joke. Plus the mobility on top of a ninja. It's just a ridiculous amount of damage, mobility, and survivability. And I feel like the trade-off for the little bit of damage you will lose, and maybe a corrosive strike, a slow, or the increased crit chance, or anything else that you can't fit into the build because you need to bring the other stuff in the first place, is a well worth trade-off for the amount of survivability you get. And survivability, you can translate that into DPS because you're never dead. In harder missions, in end game content, Blast from the Past, in my opinion, is the best out of the three. And that's really it, guys. Not a huge, crazy breakdown. Like I said, a lot of stuff you just can't really, do the math and say it's the best for this reason, not the best for that reason. I just wanted to get this out there. Just a little shorter video. Just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you think I got it right? I think I did. I think Blast for the Past is one of the best perks in the entire game. We have some videos coming. We have the store reset. We're going to stream that on Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, if you guys want to check that out. If you guys want to support the channel, Tiktak is my creator code. And last but not least, if you're new to the channel, thank you so much for watching if you made it this far. I have a couple of videos lined up. Top 5 defender weapons is another one that's coming. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you on the next one. Tiktak out.